Haida has been a written language for slightly over 100 years now. Here are a couple examples of the Haida that has been written, both the Raven story. The first was written in 1908 by John R. Swanston, told by Walter, and the second one was written in 1974 by Irma Lawrence. As you may see, the writing style has changed, but the language has not changed that much. The first significant work of the Haida language were missionaries from England, who traveled formerly known as Queen Charlotte Islands, which is now named Haida Gwaii. One of the more important missionaries was named Keene. He wrote the Gospel of St. John in 1899. He also wrote the Haida book of Acts, Luke, and the Book of Common Prayer. Harrison, another missionary, wrote a dictionary that was finished in 1902. This dictionary was a very important addition to our knowledge of the Haida language because there were many old words of the Mastic dialect. Another major contributor, John R. Swanson, who wrote the massive volume Haida text in Masset and Skidegate dialect. For about 60 years, there was nothing written in Haida language. Then, in 1972, Bob Levine began working with Skidegate Haidas, and Dr. Cross began working in Fairbanks, working with Janice Sobolov and Jack Osteen. This group wrote the Haida texts written both Haida and English because they were concerned that the Haida language and the culture would be lost without any written materials. They worked with Irma Lawrence, Robert and Nora Kogo, and Christine Adenso, amongst others. Dr. Cross began to formulate a spelling system that was typable in contrast to Swanson, who was untypable symbols. Jack Osteen then worked with Haidas in Ketchikan, who became known as the Society of Preservation of the Haida Language and Literature, which is still around today. They came out with the Haida Language Workshop readers, then began workshops in Shelley Jackson in Sitka, where more language books were made. The Society of Preservation's Haida Language and Literature collected about 200 tapes in Haida, and this is a very powerful tool for the people who are interested in learning the Haida language. In 1975, Irma Lawrence helped to write the Noun Dictionary, and in 1977 helped complete the Total Dictionary. She later on wrote the Gospel of John and updated the dictionary with working with Jordan Lashlier, and also the Haida Alaskan phrasebook. More recently, in 2002, Jordan Lashlier was nearing the end of his graduate studies and became interested in the Haida language. Soon he convinced that the previous assessment of the prediction of the doom of the Haida language were incorrect, and he traveled to Ketchikan and Heidelberg and met elders. Since then, there had been Haida Master Apprenticeships that now teach the classes taught K-2 by Sherilyn Bell and Linda Schreck. There are also 3 college levels courses through the University of Southeast, with the hope of having a minor in the language someday. The Haida language consists of 42 characters, which represents the different sounds in the Haida language. Haida sounds contain 3 short vowels, 4 long vowels, 9 sonnets, and 26 consonants. Here are some of the sounds. Dl, sh, g, These sounds, when put into Haida words, become al, which means husband, skun, which means skunk cabbage, gawit, bead, hunt, water, cook, firewood, kamal, licorice fern, eat, tree, un, grass, hill, which means medicine and or leaves, hoot, which is seal. There corresponds between the 3 main dialects, Alaskan, Masset, and Skidegate. The way you say people in the Alaskan dialect is chat'ai. In the Masset dialect, chat'e. Skidegate dialect, Haidagai. The word water in the Alaskan and Masset dialect is hunt. In Skidegate dialect is gundle. The word rock in Alaskan dialect is kwa. Masset dialect, kwa. The Skidegate dialect, kuga. For the word crackers, Alaskan dialect and Masset dialect is gilk. The Skidegate dialect is gyalaga. For the word bark, both Alaskan and Masset dialect is kuts. And for Skidegate dialect is kutsi. As of today, there are no known living relatives to the Haida language. The Haida language is not only related to any other language, it's very rich and expressive language. Here's a little peek of what I mean. Here's a small chart that has a stem, we, which means to fall. But you cannot just put the word we all by itself in Haida. You have to modify it, and by putting something in the previous. For example, you put dla onto we. Dlawi is a person or animal falling. But e, Before we, you get iwi, that's something solid or heavy that's falling. Skawi is a stick-like or a long, skinny object. Skawi is an extended object, like kelp or string, kind of like skawi, long and skinny, but it's more flexible. Hawi is a small object. Hawi is plural, multiple things falling. There are practically 50 of these prefixes. With all these 50 prefixes, you can denote all kinds of interesting size or shapes and observations of what the person or thing to appear to you. Besides these shapes, prefixes, there are instrumental prefixes. Notice that the instrumental prefix comes before the shape prefix. Dla is the shape prefix. Ki is the instrumental prefix. Itlawi is shove something off with a stick or something long and skinny. Notice that the cause of the object fell by somebody or an animal. Skidlawi is by hitting something off with an axe or something sharp. Skudlawi by pushing something off, shoving somebody off. Sometimes a whole word like skud, to push or to punch, the hand or the fist. Dangdalawi by pulling something off. Stlawi by kicking something off. So you kick something off the curb. Stai is foot. So you put sta, dlawi, stai, foot, dla, person, we, falling off. Dlawit's to fall in, or fell into a hole, fell into something. Dlawit ga, to fall out, so like you fall out of a boat. Dlawit es, to fall down, or to fall off a roof. Suffixes describe the mode, dla, and we, human or animal. Dlawi, be falling. Dlawi hit, to start to fall. Dlawi da, to let fall. Dlawi standla, try to fall. Dlawi huju, to all fall. There are more suffixes and prefixes, but we don't have enough time to cover all of them today. Dungus kila au yagan, thank you all for your time.